Bless up.
Together. I pulled this up because I think there's a lot of misconception about where we are with AI and all this stuff, and not even just misconception. It's just a lot of people don't know. It's going so fast. If you follow me on Instagram, which you should, Chucky Love. I think about just every week I end up posting in my story about what happened in the last 24 hours or in the previous week in AI, and it's just been these technological advances that's just been happening so fast. Not even just on the creative side or generative AI, but even also like uh, applications, the way people are applying it to analysis or business practices and principles and stuff like that. And I just think like, and I try to tell everybody that I know that it's very important that if anything, you learn how to you want to at least learn how AI is affecting your industry in every way. I mean, you don't have to necessarily use it for but you should be to some degree, right? But you don't have to. But and the reason why I say should is because you would want to learn um just to have it in your back pocket, right? Like you don't have to rely on it. You don't have to, but I mean, what most of y'all are using Chat GPT now. People don't even say you should Google it. They be you should Chat GPT it. So it's a powerful. It's going to be very powerful, um, and it is a very useful resource for sure. But that's exactly what it is. It's a resource. It shouldn't be the beginning of, um, or the crux of. Like it shouldn't be the beginning, the middle, and the end. But anyway, so pulling this conversation up it's actually kind of right on time. Bloomberg Tech has had a lot of great interviews this past week. I watched the one live with Asha Sharma, Xbox's new CEO, and she knocked it out of the park. The lady right here, and her name will pop back up. She asked some wonderful questions, asked questions that gamers really care about and are really concerned about. And I'm also sure a lot of investors were curious about the direction in which Xbox is looking to go. I think Asha did a great job of answering those questions and being able to put things at ease and giving a clear direction of where she sees Xbox and where it's to go in the future. And I think it's quite remarkable for her to not be a gamer at first. What she said in the interview that she ended up becoming a gamer. She's growing as a gamer, but naturally she wasn't. She came from AI, right? So just trying to figure out how she could use AI in a industry that is very resistant against it. The video game industry is highly against the use of AI. I don't think anybody is debating its use in like coding or making the infrastructure, the behind the scenes, the software process maybe easier, or helping out with stuff like that. But as far as using it creativity wise, to actually to generate images or to use for voice capture or to anything, to map voicings or yeah, it's a slope that they don't really want to go in, right? So anyway, thought this was interesting. I might not watch the whole thing. Well, it's 13 minutes, so it shouldn't be too bad. But that's like as far as video games and Xbox. This one right here is a little bit more geared towards music. My degree is in entertainment business, so I'm not just well versed in one thing. It's film, music, sports, video games, which video games of course is the highest grossing and the fastest growing sector in entertainment. I think, well, I will say streaming probably now. I think that's probably the fastest growing. Other ones have already kind of tapped out. I like the new resurgence in film. I think all these industries are starting to realize the importance and the value of original work. And especially if you can find that original work still tied to the original creator, and that they have ideas and things that they can build for the future. Because it's not a shortage of storytellers, but we need good storytellers, and we need good storytellers to tell good stories. And I'm grateful that I'm one of them. Y'all be sure to check out my album when it comes out. Y'all come to my shows if you see me doing stand up.
The audience, you know, you're somebody who has worked with some of the biggest stars in music. Jay-Z, Beyonce, Kendrick Lamar, Drake. It's a long list and it goes on and on. And you have personally been involved in creating some of the most recognizable, iconic anthems of our time.
Yeah.
There are many of these art, not necessarily the ones I named, but there are many artists who are worried about artificial intelligence and its involvement in the creative process. My question for you is, what do you say to alleviate those fears? What do you say in response to people who say AI has no business in the way we create music?
I believe that, you know, it's just a tool. You know, you can't use it as a crutch, you know, and also it can't just press the button itself. It needs human input. So it's still like coming from us, but, you know, it's just like a good aid and to, you know, give you more ideas, like stuff to chop up, just like ways to imagine the music in different eras, different, you know, just things to stay creative.
Was there a moment where you were like, whoa, this changes everything?
I mean, I say that every day, you know what I mean? Because it keeps advancing. It's just like getting better. And it's kind of like the more I feed it what I do on a genuine level, it's kind of spitting back that same level at me. So I'm kind of like sparring with it, you know? It's like it got me taking piano lessons again. I got Diamond Records and I'm doing piano lessons twice a week as if I just started, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, AI is coming with it. So it's like I got to make sure my musical knowledge is expanding.
So hip hop is sort of obsessed with this idea of ownership and originality. And there was already this big technological disruption with sampling when people said it wasn't real music. Now, of course, it's foundational.
Right.
Is this just another version of that fight, or is AI fundamentally different?
I mean, I believe so, you know, because I think about like a person that was like studying piano for 20 years and learning grooves and rhythms, but then MIDI comes out and then you could just press notes and align them in a way that it sounds like a person is playing it. So they probably was terrified of that. So I don't look at it no different.
Hey, you've talked publicly about,
That's interesting,
during the early part of your career, almost 2 decades, you were in a contract with a particular music company, and you found that to be very restrictive. And you've talked publicly about that. It's also caused you to be really fiercely, staunchly in favor of artist independence. Talk about how technology democratizes the music creation process and gives and enables more of that independence.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just even looking at the AI, I think about some of the stuff that I can do with it now, and I'm like, if I had this when I was 18, like, you know, I probably wouldn't have had to look for, you know, a person, and I feel like I had to latch on to that. I ultimately ended up in a deal that I was in for 18 years, which is insane for me having actual hit records and diamond records and stuff. But it's like, you know, I think it's, we just in a place where if you got imagination, you can flourish, you know, like, and that's what I work on. My whole career was built off just like imagination. I'm like the least technical producer. I feel like I just throw paint at the wall and I end up with a Niggas in Paris or a Sicko Mode or, you know, whatever it may be.
So,
and to even expound upon that or make it a little bit more personalized to me myself, like, you know, I never imagined being able to use AI to help me with my project, right? So, like, my Entourage project on my first EP, you know, is actually a couple of them. It's helped me establish so many concepts and, you know, put stuff together. It doesn't help me write. It doesn't help me with anything of the actual creating process, but it has helped me so much with actually organizing, structuring, figuring out like how I want to create something, right? So I can ask it, and I'm thinking about like with music, like I can be like, hey, I need to figure out you know, a couple of chord progressions that are sad, right? Or that are aggressive, or and it could give me like different chord progressions and some ideas or some examples, case studies of stuff that have already been used in the past, instruments that were used, or artists that I can go and check out and look and draw as, you know, inspiration from. It's helped me, you know, even ideate the way I'm putting together the Entourage project, right? Like, it's always been a thing of mine. You know, I've had the Entourage clothing brand that's very old. But just even having that that whole conceptual structure already in place, but then being able to apply that to different things that I'm trying to do as far as business wise, it's been really remarkable, and it cuts the amount of time in which it would take of me to have written all of that out, right, or to even think about and to write it out, right. So it's been really, really good. Helped me put together the book idea. It helped me put together the whole story, the short story. Just yeah. So it's remarkable. I thought what he was saying was really good. And.
If anyone can use AI and make technically good music, what matters more, taste or talent?
Definitely taste. You still gotta curate it. You still gotta chop it up. It's no different from you go in a record store. Like you gives two different people the same 5 records to sample. Somebody's gonna come out with there's gonna be different interpretations. So it's just like
Something we think about a lot in our craft in journalism, and I know this happens in other fields, is that when you turn over.
And I'd say taste. I think taste is important. Even being a talented person, that it's important as well, right? I mean, they both actually are important. But having great taste, I mean, you can do a lot more having great taste. Not only could you be a musician potentially, or or you can at least make beats, right? Or you can hear good music. You'd have great, ideas and can help in a room, as opposed to just being talented, right? That you'd only be talented and I can say only be talented in a few spots, but yeah, taste is more important. That's what separates you from others, right? We both can be talented at playing the guitar, but the taste that I have developed because of all the music and all the things that I've consumed and experienced will set me apart different from you, and that's what
Some of the basic skill building processes to the machines, to the robots. What does that do to the ability for you to learn the skills that you need to build on later? I worry about that in journalism. And I want to make sure that people are still learning the basic building blocks. You talk about learning how to play the piano.
Right.
How do you ensure when you fall back on technology that it's not robbing people of that opportunity?
Yeah, man, and that's kind of crazy you say that, because I even feel like for a minute, and that's why I started doing the piano lessons again. I kind of started relying on loops and tech just to kind of dump and just see what happens. But now it's like, it's actually AI that made me like, though, this is like, they're playing some crazy chords. Like, I got to go back and expand my knowledge, you know what I mean? And it's like, to me, it's inspiring me to want to get better and, more knowledgeable at what I do.
Absolutely.
So if the internet or the world gets flooded with infinite music, is it harder for artists to break out? Will there still be superstars like Beyonce and Drake and Hit Boy?
Before AI was booming, we still was getting 100,000 songs uploaded every day. So now it's like, it's no different, and it's like I said, like AI can't walk down the street and sign an autograph for a fan that's going crazy for him. So you're going to always have like the human experience in that aspect.
Yeah.
Well, we've been talking about how you use technology to enhance the creative process and change the way you make music. And I think we're going to get a demo of that so that we're not just talking about it theoretically, but we're going to see it in action.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to do that.
Yes, we're going to do a demo soon. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, so basically this is a program that I built to be like an open source album where I can just dump all the files from my album and allow people to recreate and have their own, version of what I did.
So, yeah.
You want to do it?
No, you do it, please. Tell us what you're doing while you're doing it.
Walk us through it.
So essentially, it's a good example of what Hit Boy was talking about, right? Instead of using AI to create more music, we're building something to enable others to essentially learn how to make music by using Hit Boy's music, his actual catalog. So what you see on screen is 3 tracks from his upcoming unreleased album, and we've taken all of the components, so like the snare, the percussion, the bass, the vocals, the melodies.
And these are real snare sounds, not AI generated.
They're all created by him. And this, you can essentially take different...
Said not AI sounds are created by him. I mean, not knowing that he didn't necessarily make them either, but he more than likely downloaded or compiled them and did some sound design on them, renamed the file, saved it.
Different components from each song and create a net new composition. So I think what this will do will enable more people to learn how to make music and get inspired and then start, become a producer or the next superstar.
But if you start playing music, I'm gonna have to keep it moving.
Let's pick maybe a snare from here and hit play, and then we're going to layer on some more components. So maybe a melody from here, and then maybe let's do a drum from another song. So this is now from 3 different songs. They're all being synced in real time. So if you think about music, they have different speeds, different keys, and this is doing it in real time. And it gives us the ability to essentially create a net new song from his catalog. And let's try a vocal as well.
I'm an animal on beats, don't be crashing out on Pete. Put it on national TV, she like the sound of my CD. I pay cash and I don't leave, going faster, that's so deep. Going the hazards, jumped out clean, don't be passing.
What do you think it needs, Hit? What does he think it needs?
What's that?
What do you think it needs?
I think it needs bass.
It needs bass?
Let's go.
Yeah. All right. Let's add a bass.
What other vocal do you have?
Other vocals.
Other vocals.
Other vocals? Let's do this one.
So the AI is basically doing the layering and the mixing and the syncing.
And it enabled us to build this platform, right? Because I guess
The coding,
neither
the
of
software
us are technical,
coding.
right? We're not engineers, but we're able to get together in a room and brainstorm ideas and say, hey, why shouldn't this exist? And then have the tools to be able to build that.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about the ways you use Lovable to build this, right?
I would love to
Maybe
do that
talk
to
a little
make
bit about
films.
their UK-based startup that
Like I would really love to be in a room with other creatives in trying to create a film, like trying to create a film or produce a show or build a game or make an album, right? Like what he just described as far as that, having something that you want done, and you and someone, like not necessarily being but both being very capable of, listen, naturally, and being intelligent enough and capable and creative enough, but also resourceful enough to put something together and to create something. Like I want to be able to do that. I wish I had someone else who's like that with me, to help me create and build like stuff like that for real. Yeah, I like it, but I won't use that. I would never use that. That's like I would never use that. That's crazy. Like Sona is the same way. Inputting or prompting and then having it spit out stuff to you, like it's essentially, I think why he would say that that's okay or why that's not any different is because if I'm going through different sound banks, I'm really just pulling a snare or I'm just pulling a CHH or a kick or something, and so when I'm using it, it's still the same. You still gonna plug it into a track. You feel like, all right, now what does it need? What does the song need now? And then you'll pick a sound and you'll add it. So it's essentially the same, but it's not. You heard how I just put that stuff together. It was gross, right? Like, anyway. But
Paid how artists get paid, the labels, does Spotify have too much power? Who has the power in this new world?
I mean, you have to empower yourself. That's like,
the artist.
That's why I'm here. You know what I mean? Being in that deal for so long, all my new music is coming out and it's self-funded and it's like just like all of my ideas, all the stuff that I've been wanting to get off before when I had that dark cloud over my head. Now it's like I can breathe, and you have things like Lovable. You have different, just tools that you can use to really get the ideas out.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us, what should we be looking forward to? What are you working on right now that we should keep our eyes?
The Antaras project. And the sooner than later.
Open for.
I'm definitely, always working on production stuff, but I actually have 2 albums of my own coming out.
See, that's what I'm saying too.
Success is a Dirty Word.
I got 2.
And that's just kind of like talking about the story of like, it's not all it's cracked up to be all the time.
Yeah,
I made giant records and still had to be stuck in a deal because of language in the contract and just ancient, outdated ways. That's why I am embracing AI. I am embracing things that's pushing life and things forward, because it's like I was stuck in an ancient thing that's like it shouldn't have been that way. But so I'm just embracing the future. But yeah, Success is a Dirty Word. That's like what I'm like excited over.
And that album's coming Friday?
Next Friday, yeah.
Next Friday.
Yeah.
And is there AI in this
It's the
album?
first time I said it right now,
Go. Next Friday, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
And how much do you use AI in this album that's about to drop?
Just like different little ways. Like, I might want a female vocal and I might sing a part myself and just flip the switch, and now it's like a sound like a female singing, and I can kind of finesse it and make it sound like, like it's like a real artist.
And getting back to that question about your relationship with the music publishing companies, how are you going to distribute this?
Independent, you know what I mean? Just like I'm uploading, I'm actually putting it on hitboy.ai, hit-boy.ai, and it's like kind of like you can pay what you want, you know what I mean? Like you can go stream it on Spotify and Apple and that stuff too, but if you want to support me directly, hit-boy.ai, and you can basically just pay whatever you want to support the movement.
Yeah, I'm making CDs. I'm definitely making CDs and vinyls.
Will that create culture?
I'll be selling them at my
just
show.
More content?
Culture for sure, man. You know what I mean? It's like I run into different producers that I respect. That's kind of, they exploring with it. They trying different ways and implementing it. Taking it, putting it into their own toolbox, and just like I think we about to really like, it's like a boom. It's an explosion right now. Like you better go crazy.
Yeah, man.
Today's video will definitely rub.
Oh no, hell no. Where the hell he come from? Well, no, that's such a really, really good point, and I'm so glad that stumbled on my page. Like I said, man, with these greasy ass lips, like I was saying, if you're using AI for the right reasons, or if you have good ideas and stuff like that, and you just need help with making them real, bringing them into fruition, I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. And it could be a very viable and useful tool. I think where audiences and the consumer, falls flat on it is when it's used to actually present an image, right? Or to give you, it's trying to give you something that could not really be genuine, right? So you can't give me a song. Like, I don't want to hear an AI singer singing to me about something sad, because they didn't experience it, right? I don't want to see a video game that looks like it has been made, too extravagant, or it's too, the graphics are too something. Like, you just tell the inauthenticity in a game, but where it's interesting, that could be, or the spin move for that, where what if it was used to improve the AI, or it's used to improve the enemies in the game in which you're playing against, right? So they're a little bit smarter, or the systems respond better. They're not just walking in the same loop, or if you're playing a shooting game, how they, or not shooting game, but like an action adventure game, and you got a couple of dudes over there, they seem to make the same stupid moves, or they will, then that's viable, right? Maybe not. Is that not still generative AI? So it's just it's just interesting. So I think, like I said in the beginning of this, no matter what your industry is, you need to learn how AI is affecting it. Whether you're going to use it or not is irrelevant. You need to just know what to do and how to use it, so that it can benefit you and make you a better employee, or make you a better owner, or a better creative, or put you in a position above or around those who, above those who don't, who are rejecting it, who don't want to use AI at all. All right, cool. But those who understand and use it and can think of new ways to implement it in their industry, those are the ones that's gonna win. Those are the ones that's gonna get the jobs. So better take you some AI classes. Like ASAP if you wanna. The job market's tough. And if you don't know about the job market, you go check out my other video. I talk about it in there too. It's crazy. It's crazy how this is affecting everything. Better get together.